After 622 days of absolute silence, the girl at the center of hip-hop's most explosive controversy is about to speak, and what she's planning to reveal could destroy everything. The internet is on fire right now. Eternity Joy, the alleged secret daughter Kendrick Lamar exposed in Meet the Grams, just dropped an announcement that has TMZ, The Shade Room, and millions of fans losing their minds. Because the way she's doing this, the words she's choosing, this isn't a denial. This feels like a confession. If you enjoyed powerful and mind-blowing videos like this, make sure to subscribe to StarsTube. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Let me tell you what just happened, because this announcement is absolutely deliberate and bone-chilling. Eternity Joy posted, after 622 days of silence after being referenced in Meet the Grams, I have something special coming this week. Stay tuned. 622 days. She literally counted every single one. While the entire world dissected her life, compared her face to Drake's, investigated her mother's background, she stayed completely quiet. Until this exact moment. And here's what's sending chills down everyone's spine. She didn't say clearing the rumors. She didn't say setting the record straight. She said one word that changes everything: truth. No previews, no leaks, just truth. That's not the language of someone about to deny something. That's the language of someone about to expose something. But this is where things get crazy. She then quotes the exact line from Kendrick's song, word for word. You need to know that love is eternity and trumps all pain. Think about that for a second. If you wanted to deny everything, would you quote the very song that started the rumor? Would you embrace the lyrics that accused your alleged father of abandoning you? No, you would distance yourself from it completely. But she's doing the opposite. She's leaning into it. And the people she tagged? The Shade Room, Media Takeout, Hollywood Unlocked, TMZ. You don't tag TMZ to say nothing happened. You tag TMZ when you've got a bomb to drop. Then she released a trailer, an actual cinematic trailer like this is a Netflix documentary. In it, she says, in the middle of hip-hop's biggest war, there was a child. Her name was mentioned. Her face went viral. Her truth was never told. Her truth was never told. Not the lies need correction, not the false rumors. Her truth that was never told. Like there's a real story that's been hidden this entire time. And the most shocking part is still coming. The resemblance is absolutely undeniable. The facial structure, the eyes, the smile, the way she tilts her head in photos. Internet detectives have been running side-by-side comparisons for months, and the similarities are haunting. One TikTok breakdown got 8 million views showing the bone structure match between her and Drake. The comments flooded with people saying that's literally his twin. But here's what nobody's talking about yet. Her mother worked for Universal Music Group, the same label Drake has been signed to for over a decade. And guess what? Old Instagram photos place her at industry events in the exact cities Drake was touring in 2013 and 2014. The timeline matches perfectly. And here's the kicker. Her mother never once denied anything. Not a single statement, not one "leave my daughter alone" post. Total silence for 622 days. If your child was being dragged into the biggest rap controversy of all time and it was all fake, wouldn't you protect her? Wouldn't you speak up immediately? But she didn't, and that silence speaks volumes. Now here's where this gets even darker. Drake never took legal action. If Kendrick falsely accused him on a song that got 50 million streams, that's textbook defamation. Drake has an entire legal team. He could have sued. He could have issued cease and desist letters. But he did nothing. Just a sarcastic Instagram story saying, "Y'all find my hidden daughter yet?" And then silence. Because here's what everyone needs to remember. Drake has done this before. He hid his son Adonis for years. It wasn't until Pusha T demolished him with the story of Adonis that Drake finally acknowledged his child publicly. Before that, complete secrecy. He was planning to reveal Adonis through an Adidas marketing campaign, a brand deal, a controlled, profitable announcement. But Pusha T destroyed that plan and forced Drake's hand. So when Kendrick drops Meet the Grams and says Drake is hiding another child, this time a daughter, people believed it instantly. Because the pattern already exists. The blueprint is already there. Drake already proved he's willing to hide his children from the world. But here's what makes this situation absolutely heartbreaking. At the center of all this drama, all this internet chaos, all this global speculation, there's an 11-year-old girl. A child who didn't choose any of this. Imagine being in middle school and overnight, Kendrick Lamar addresses you in a song heard by millions. Your face is everywhere. Strangers are analyzing your photos, comparing your nose to Drake's, zooming in on your features. And you're 11 years old. That kind of attention destroys adults. Celebrities with entire PR teams crumble under that pressure. But she's just a kid. She didn't ask to become part of hip-hop's biggest war. And whether Drake is actually her father or not, she's a victim. She's been turned into a conspiracy theory, a meme, a debate topic. That's somebody's real daughter, a real person with real feelings. This story is unfolding right now, and you need to stay updated. Subscribe to StarsTube so you don't miss any updates on this explosive situation. Let's talk about Meet the Grams for a second, because understanding that song is crucial to understanding this moment. Kendrick dropped it on May 3rd, 2024, right in the middle of the Drake battle. And this wasn't just another diss track. This was psychological warfare. He addressed 3 people directly: Drake's son Adonis, Drake's alleged daughter, and Drake's parents. The daughter verse is haunting. He says, "Dear baby girl, I'm sorry that your father's not active inside your world." He talks about her deserving better, about being hidden, about Drake repeating destructive patterns. This wasn't a casual mention. This was a calculated, researched accusation. And within hours of the song dropping, internet detectives found Eternity Joy's Instagram. They found posts where she expressed deep admiration for Drake. Not normal fan stuff. These captions had emotional weight, like she was speaking to someone she knew personally but couldn't acknowledge publicly. Then they found her mother's profile, industry event photos, UMG branding and backgrounds, photos that placed her in the same cities as Drake during specific years. Fans started building forensic timelines. They cross-referenced her mother's posts with Drake's tour dates, OVO Fest schedules, album release parties. And there were overlaps, lots of them. But this is where things get absolutely insane. Someone found a deleted post, a screenshot that had been saved and recirculated, where her mother allegedly mentioned meeting Drake at a label event. The post was vague, nothing explicit, but it confirmed they were in the same room at the same time. And then there's footage, allegedly showing a young girl outside Drake's Toronto mansion, the Embassy. The video is grainy, taken from far away, but people are convinced it's her. The timestamp? From just a few months ago. Why would she be at Drake's house if there's no connection? Some say it's not her, others say it's just a random kid. But the fact that this video exists and aligns with the renewed interest in this story, it's adding fuel to an already raging fire. And the most shocking part? We're still not at the craziest part of this story, because Eternity's announcement reveals something even deeper, something about timing and intention. Why now? Why wait almost 2 full years? If this was all false, if Kendrick just made it up, she could have denied it immediately. A quick Instagram post, a simple statement, done. But she waited 622 days through all the memes, all the theories, all the viral TikToks analyzing her face. She stayed silent while the world tore her life apart. And now she's building this up like a major reveal. Trailers, countdowns, media tags. That's not the behavior of someone preparing to say, "It's not true." That's the behavior of someone preparing to drop a bombshell. Her caption says, "This isn't just a comeback, this is a reckoning." A reckoning. Not a clarification, not a correction, a reckoning. That word choice is deliberate. That's the language of exposure, of accountability, of truth finally being told. This situation is bigger than just Drake and Kendrick now. This is about how we treat children in celebrity culture, how quickly we turn real people into characters in a narrative, how we forget that behind every viral moment there's a human being with real emotions. We saw it with Blue Ivy when people attacked her appearance. We saw it with Northwest, with every celebrity child thrust into the spotlight. Social media makes it worse because anyone can participate. Anyone can comment, make theories, share videos. And when millions are doing it, it doesn't feel like harassment. It feels like a conversation. But for the kid at the center, it's overwhelming. It's traumatic. It's inescapable. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. Every time we share a post about this, every time we debate whether she's his daughter, every time we engage with comparison videos, we're contributing to the pressure she feels. We're part of the noise, part of the problem. This 11-year-old girl shouldn't have to defend her existence to millions of strangers, but she feels like she has to. And that's on all of us. This is a warning about what happens when fame, ego, and internet culture collide, when adults prioritize their battles over children's well-being. So what's she going to say? The internet is going absolutely nuclear with predictions. Some think she's dropping receipts, text messages, photos, proof of a relationship between her mother and Drake, evidence that he knew and chose silence. Others think she'll play it safe, address the trauma without confirming specifics. And some think this is all a publicity stunt to launch a social media career. But based on everything we've seen, based on her language, based on the 622-day wait, I don't think she's denying it. I think she's confirming it, or confirming enough that the internet will erupt. Because if she confirms this, Drake's legacy is permanently damaged. The deadbeat dad narrative becomes fact. Every line from Meet the Grams gets validated. OVO takes a massive reputation hit. His music gets re-examined through this lens. But if she denies it, Kendrick has serious questions to answer. The culture has to reckon with how far is too far in a diss track. Using a child's name, even believing the claims are true, crosses a line many aren't comfortable with. Either way, somebody loses, big time. Let's think about the psychological weight of this moment, because what we're witnessing isn't just a celebrity scandal. This is a child being forced to define herself in the most public way imaginable. Eternity has been living in limbo for 622 days, not knowing if she should speak, not knowing if silence is protection or torture, watching millions of people debate her bloodline like she's a science experiment. And now she's taking control of her narrative. At 11 years old, she's making a decision that most adults would be terrified to make. That takes courage, or desperation, maybe both. Think about the emotional calculation happening here. She knows that whatever she says, half the internet won't believe her. She knows that confirmation means a lifetime of being Drake's secret daughter. Denial means being called a liar forever. There's no winning scenario for her, only damage control. And yet, she's choosing to speak anyway. But here's what's really keeping me up at night about this whole situation. What if the truth is more complicated than anyone expects? What if Drake is her biological father, but he didn't know? What if her mother never told him? What if he found out the same time we all did when Kendrick dropped that track? That would explain the awkward silence, the absence of a legal action, the absence of a clear denial. Because how do you deny something you're not sure about? How do you confirm something you're still processing? And let's talk about what this means for the music industry as a whole, because this beef between Drake and Kendrick changed everything. Before this, diss tracks had boundaries. You could attack someone's skills, their credibility, their authenticity. But family was mostly off limits. Kids were untouchable. Kendrick shattered that boundary. He didn't just mention Drake's family. He spoke directly to them. He addressed Adonis. He addressed the alleged daughter. He addressed Drake's parents. That's a new level of personal warfare. And now every rapper knows nothing is sacred. Nothing is protected. If you have secrets, they will be weaponized.
That's terrifying, but it's also fascinating from a cultural standpoint, because hip-hop has always been about authenticity, about keeping it real, about exposing phonies and frauds. So when Kendrick exposes Drake for allegedly hiding a child, is that crossing a line, or is that holding someone accountable for their actions? The culture is split on this, and Eternity's statement might force everyone to pick a side. Let me paint you a picture of what Eternity's life has probably been like for the past 622 days. She wakes up, checks her phone, sees hundreds of notifications, people she's never met telling her she looks like Drake, calling her a liar, calling her a secret, calling her a mistake. She goes to school, kids whisper, teachers look at her differently. Everyone knows who she is now, or who she might be. She comes home, her mother is stressed, lawyers are probably involved, PR people are making calls, and she's just trying to do her homework, trying to be a normal kid. But she's not normal anymore. She can't be. The internet decided she's a story, a mystery, a piece of evidence in a rap beef. And nobody asked her permission. Nobody said, hey, is it okay if we turn your entire existence into a debate topic? It just happened, and she had to deal with it for 622 days.
Imagine carrying that weight at 11 years old. Imagine knowing that millions of people are analyzing your face, your life, your mother's past, trying to determine if you're real or not. That's not childhood, that's survival. And maybe that's why she's speaking now. Maybe the silence became more painful than the exposure. Maybe she realized that staying quiet wasn't protecting her, it was suffocating her. Maybe she looked at the comments, the theories, the conspiracies, and thought, if people are going to talk about me anyway, I might as well tell them the truth myself. That's empowerment, but it's also tragedy, because an 11-year-old shouldn't have to make that choice. She shouldn't have to expose herself to protect herself. But here we are. This situation exposes something dark about our society, about how we consume celebrity culture, about how we treat other people's pain as entertainment. We click on these videos, we read these articles, we share these theories, and we tell ourselves it's harmless, it's just gossip, it's just the internet. But for eternity, it's her life. For her mother, it's her reputation. For Drake, it's his legacy. These are real consequences, real trauma, real damage, and we're all participating in it. I'm participating by making this video. You're participating by watching. The blogs are participating by covering it. The algorithm is participating by promoting it. We're all part of this machine that grinds up real people and spits out content. And maybe it's time we ask ourselves, is this okay? Is this the culture we want to create? But regardless of the ethics, regardless of the morality, regardless of how we feel about it, this moment is happening. Eternity Joy is about to speak. The world is about to listen, and everything we thought we knew about this story might change in an instant. Twitter is already preparing for the fallout. Reddit threads are being created in advance. YouTube channels have cameras ready for reaction videos. This is the most anticipated statement since Drake's The Story of a Did in Response, since Kendrick's Not Like Us dropped, since the beef began. And it's all coming from an 11-year-old girl. Let that sink in. The biggest moment in hip-hop controversy right now belongs to a child. Don't miss what happens next. Subscribe to StarsTube right now, because when this live stream happens, we'll have complete coverage, full breakdowns, and instant analysis of every single word she says. The countdown has started, the silence is ending, and the truth, whatever it is about to shake the entire industry.